Hello, welcome back. It's 25th of January, Monday. It was an interesting weekend. It was. Let me start with Saturday first. So, Saturday started off with what was supposed to be an interview. So, 11 o'clock on Saturday, we had a scheduled parents interview or interaction session that was scheduled in one of the schools where we had applied for last week. Now, all three of us went at 11 o'clock, right on time, and then we were taken to a particular place which was like right outside a classroom, and we were told to wait. And we realized that one another family is inside undergoing interaction or interview or whatever. So we thought like, okay, that thing might get over in about 5-10 minutes, but I think it eventually took about half an hour. So we're just sitting there idle, watching birds and trees and all those stuff. But eventually, they called us inside. The other people left, so we went inside. So there were like two teachers, ladies who were sitting there. They first asked us like, "Do you know what's the concept of Montessori?" And because this school has Montessori concept instead of the typical pre-nursery and nursery thing. We told no, and they started explaining, and this went on and on and on. And they asked like whether we have any questions. We started asking question about the safety, security, food related stuff, and in general all these things. Through this thing, my kid was like running around. She was outside. She was playing. At times, she came near us. She went off, and all those things. But end of all these things, one of the teacher asked like, "Okay, are you ready to go ahead and do the admission?" I felt like, okay, why is she asking about admission now? Because like my expectation from this particular catch up was like I thought like it was more of the the teachers trying to gauge the kid's capability or whatever, looking at her or talking to her and all, which never happened. I don't think so. They even spoke for 5 minutes with her. I don't think so. They spoke at all. Second thing is, I thought they'll ask us something and they'll gauge based on that, but eventually they told like they asked whether we are ready to go for the admission. I don't know what prompted them to do that, but it's in a way good. I'm not telling no, but it felt a little bit strange because we were not ready to go ahead with the admission. So we kind of gave like a little bit of blank expression. I think they read it immediately, and they asked like, okay, if you want time, we can give you time. Like you take about 2 weeks, and you have to come back, and that's last. And after that, we cannot extend it. So we were like, okay. So they just told like whom to reach out to if we come before it. We left from there. We were still under the impression that this was supposed to be an interview, or they were supposed to ask us something or ask the kids something, which never happened. Throughout, I think 90% of the time they themselves spoke rather than me speaking anything. And once we came out, we went to a couple of other schools. One of the schools finally told that when they'll be giving the form, which is actually on Wednesday. And the other school that we went, we knew that very unlikely that we'll get a seat so easily. We went there and waited for the principal to become free. And one strange thing that I saw, that anyone who is going inside to meet the principal or the headmistress, they have to keep their phone outside in a tray and then go. I am not really sure what logic it is. Not using, telling us not to use the phone is one thing, or asking us to put it on silent is another thing. But making people who are walking in even for like 1 minute to keep their phone outside was something strange. But I made sure that I followed it, kept the phone outside, went in, spoke to the headmistress, asked her about the application process and the admission and all. She asked me to fill up the form, which I did, and she told she'd give it back right away, which also I did. And while doing so, I asked her whether what's the plan for admission, how does it work. She told like the admissions are already done, it's almost closed, and the committee will call back if there is anything that is available, and they'll speak to you. I told like, what are the chances? And she's like, the committee will tell you. So which, I mean, I have had discussion with my friend who's also um, running around schools trying to figure out the admission thing and all. He told me that they will call you within 2 to 3 days, and the first thing they'll tell you is bring the check so that you can give the donation. I mean, it's strange that they call you for admission, or they call you to ask you to give the application, and then they will call you back and then ask for donation and all those things. Instead, they should keep it very frank and open. If you really want donation, the moment you ask for the application form, they should say that this XYZ amount is the donation, and if you're really interested and willing to give, then probably go ahead with it instead of wasting your time. But I don't know what's the logic, because maybe they're worried about parents going and complaining and all those stuff to, I don't know, but that's how it went. But anyway, I'm still waiting for the call. I've not got anything. Probably I can expect it on Wednesday or Thursday. So let that happen. Now fast forward to Sunday, which was yesterday. This was an interesting day because yesterday was my first kind of like a group ride, a big group ride. Uh, because I think probably I've done two extremely small, rather one extremely small group ride and one medium group ride. Because when I say extremely small, I think 5 or 6 of us went around Bangalore. So 5 or 6 of us went around Bangalore. This was like I think almost a year back around this time. But the second one was I think 5 of us went to Mysore. This was after the lockdown and all had opened up. But again, it was a very small group. But this time around, this was a huge group. There were like 25 bikes, all Java bikes, classic 42 and couple of Paraks as well, and total of 29 people, which included 4 pillions. Like 4 of them had come with their spouses. So a group ride which started at 5 6. The group ride actually started at 6:30, but I started from home at 5:45, and we reached this meetup point around 6:30. So I think 6:45 is when the group ride started. We went to a common place which was supposed to be a breakfast point, but before that there was an icebreaker session, and after that there were certain sessions, talks, and t-shirt distribution, sticker distribution, all those things. Then as per the initial plan, we set out towards another location which is another 12 to 15 kilometers away. But we went there, and first we went to the point one, which is a temple, and then there was supposed to be a trek. And after reaching the temple, when we inquired, we realized that it's about a 2 hours trek, and by the time we were already exhausted. So we decided we'll come back, and while coming back we just stopped in another place for like just few minutes for some photo shoots and things like that. But overall, why I call it interesting is because this whole experience was something new. I mean, the group ride thing, I think the very first group ride that I've ever done, this was way back in I think 2005, when I was in my first year of my IT life. And in my first company there was a tie-up with Royal Enfield, and I think they had given us Thunderbird, and like one bike for 2 people, and we had gone there. This is my oldest memory of a group ride that I can ever think of. But after that, I don't think so. I had done a bigger group ride, something like this. So it was an interesting experience. A lot of new people. I mean, all of them were new to me. I don't know. I don't think so. I knew anyone there except for a couple of guys whom I had met a couple of times before. But people with mixed riding experience, people with mixed bike ownership experience, people with a lot of experience from their own field. Some folks were youngsters, some were old, some were from a senior position in company, some who had lost their job due to COVID, some writers, some artists, everything. It was good. It was, I mean, definitely, I would like, if you really want to summarize it, I would say it was like a fun ride. We did get caught by cops. I mean, not really caught, but like we got pulled over by cops, and in an attempt to harass and snatch some money, they stopped us. But eventually, we just made sure that we told that it's a group ride and there was nothing like rash driving and all. So they let us go. The cop didn't get anything that he intended to. But overall, it was fun. It was good. But somehow the pacing was a little bit slow. But that's okay. That's still okay than doing a rash riding and all those stuff. So that was one thing. Came back yesterday. Even like I didn't sleep in the afternoon, but a little bit tired. But I realized that if I sleep, I will probably night I'll have trouble time. So eventually evening we went out for shopping. Went to Commercial Street after a very long time. Did some shopping for wife. So that was an interesting experience again after almost 10 months or so. Stepping into Commercial Street was something very new. So that's how interesting and how fun the weekend was. Today was something strange, something weird, but I'll probably talk about it sometime later. I don't want to talk about it now because I'm a little bit upset with what happened in office in the evening, but more on that later. Anyway, thank you so much. Bye bye.